Fiskateers, and welcome to Mixed Media Madness. I am so happy that you are joining me this Saturday morning and afternoon for some mixed media fun. And the Fiskateers, as well as myself, we have some real fun challenges and tutorials and fun opportunities to use your Fiskateer's punches and tools in unique ways. And we're going to go ahead and just jump right in and get started with our first mixed media tag. So what you're going to need, I've listed on the blog, but what we're going to start out by doing is, you can choose any punch, but in this case I really enjoyed using the Jenny Bolin lever punch, and we're going to go ahead and use some really fun vibrant paper. And I chose some Echo Park dots and stripes, and you'll notice that's exactly what they are. One side stripes, one side dots. And so what we're going to do, and I've chose all different colors. If you want to go with a monochromatic scheme, that's totally up to you. But what you're going to do is go ahead and punch out several butterflies. And we're going to set those aside. After you have probably, this is a smaller shipping tag, and using this punch I probably have about 17 to 20 little butterflies that'll go on here. So go ahead and punch out however many you think you need to cover your tag. And the next step is you're going to take some Mod Podge, and we're going to coat that tag. And then you're just going to go ahead and take your butterflies, and you're going to start placing those down. All those down, go ahead and apply an additional coat. The next step we're going to take is we're going to get out our stamps. I'm actually using the Henna Petals Fiskateer stamps, and of course you can use it with your stamp press, Fiskateer stamp press. In this case I'm going to go ahead and just use it loosely, and I think I'm going to take some of this Color Box ink. I love these little cues that come in kind of a palette, and I'm going to use a couple of different colors, randomly stamp. I'm going to use some metallic, some gold, and I'm randomly going to ink up my stamp. Then what you're going to do is just go ahead and pick some random areas to place that ink down on your tag. Might need to do that a couple of times. Before we do the wax, I think that we're going to add a little bit of paint. Okay, so get out a few colors that you like of some paint. I'm picking some pretty vibrant colors, and what I'm going to do is, these are from Martha Stewart. Plaid makes these little, they're called pouncers. I really like these. They're just really fun little, they come in different sizes, And what I'm going to do is just randomly take a little bit of paint and kind of get it a little bit dry. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of paint on the pouncer and pounce it around on my craft mat first. And then I'm going to take certain areas and I'm just going to stamp. Okay, now that your tag is got some texture down with some stamps, and you've got some texture down with the punches, the next step we're going to take is we're going to add some wax. So this is where your crayons might come in handy, or if you have some beeswax, that's also where you can use this technique. Now, what I do is I have a little melting pot, and what I do is my leftovers I will pour into a little can lid, a little mason jar lid, and I'll keep it in here, and what I'll do is I'll use my heat tool to heat it up and then just drip it in random areas of my tag. Now, a couple things to keep in mind as you do that. You can cover as little or as much as you like. Another technique is you can take and take a brush and brush it along. I'm just randomly going to kind of drip it in certain areas. One of the things as well that I like to do is add some glitter from time to time. Go ahead and take out your wax. With a can lid, because it's metal, sometimes it might get a little warm, but this is a pretty big lid, so usually I don't have an issue, but if you need to wear gloves, go ahead and do so. But what we're going to do is go ahead and heat the wax, and as we do that, kind of drip it into place, okay? Okay, now if you want to, you can go ahead and spread that around just by moving your tag a little bit. And now quickly you want to go ahead and get out a stamp. And I'm going to go ahead and use this cute little stamp that says "This is art." And you're going to let your wax cool just a tad bit. And so what you're going to do is go ahead and get your stamp inked up, and you want to make sure that the wax sets where it starts to become kind of cloudy. Go ahead, and it's still warm, go ahead and place your stamp in the wax. And I'm doing half on and half off, and what you want to do is keep it there for just a couple seconds. And then you have an embedded stamp in your wax. And that says "This is art." Now the last step, we're on the home stretch. What I'm going to do is go ahead and add a few little buttons. Now I notice that I have quite a bit of wax here. I think I'm going to go ahead and melt that so that it kind of spreads out a little bit. Be careful if you've already stamped, you don't want to melt that wax, otherwise your stamp's going to kind of just get melted away. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of even out this patch of wax. That's a little better, I like that. That way there's not so much wax all in one place. And that's the great thing about wax, you can redo it, you can add layers on. So if you wanted to coat it with a thick wax and then add something else in there like buttons or anything of that sort, then you can add another coat of wax. I'm using beeswax. You can use crayons, but the beeswax, I love the smell of beeswax. It smells a little bit like honey. Now when that's still wet, you can go ahead and embed little embellishments. So I'm going to go ahead and stick a couple of little buttons in there. One of them isn't quite in the wax, so I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive. Once I have that down, I'm going to go ahead and I think add one additional thing. I have these really cute miniature paper clips that I picked up somewhere. And my last little step for my tag is I'm going to go ahead and place that cute little paper clip on my tag. So there you have it. Get ready for a lot more fun.